Attention passionate Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Pittsburgh Steelers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Pittsburgh Steelers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Let's get to the news. The NFL rumor mill is buzzing with some potentially game-changing news that has Steelers fans sitting up and paying close attention. According to reports from Adam Schefter and other trusted sources, the New York Giants are considering a blockbuster move that could reshape the landscape of the AFC North and the NFL as a whole. The Giants, currently sitting with a record of 5-10 and a cap space of around $10 million, are eyeing a major rebuild. Their plan? To ship out defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence, a dominant interior disruptor, in exchange for a first-round pick in the 2026 draft plus a reserve linebacker from the Steelers. And let's be honest, Steelers fans, this isn't just any trade. It could be the kind of move that flips the balance of power, especially as Pittsburgh looks to solidify its defensive front and push toward another Super Bowl shot. Now, why would the Giants be so eager to part ways with a player like Dexter Lawrence? Well, the motivation for the Giants is pretty clear. They're in full rebuild mode, with their offense ranking dead last in the league at 280 yards per game. Their cap situation is tight, and they're looking to gather assets for a future that includes drafting a franchise quarterback, a move that requires capital and strategic flexibility. The Giants' defensive ranking, which sits at 25th in points allowed at 25 per game, also signals they're ready to hit the reset button by trading away some of their key pieces. Dexter Lawrence, a true interior wrecking ball who's been compared to Aaron Donald in terms of pass rush grades, is a perfect candidate for a rebuild that prioritizes draft capital and young talent. For the Steelers, this potential trade is exactly what they need to bolster a defensive line that's been a bit thin since Ekuel went down with that ACL injury. Lawrence would be a game changer, bringing that disruptive presence that can collapse pockets, stuff the run, and free up other pass rushers. With the Steelers currently holding a 9-6 record and still fighting for playoff positioning, adding a player of Lawrence's caliber could be the missing piece to elevate their defense into a top 10 unit that consistently wreaks havoc on opposing quarterbacks. Let's take a deep dive into what Dexter Lawrence brings to the table. The guy is a force of nature, a true interior destroyer who's been a cornerstone of the Giants' defense. His PFF overall grade for 2025 is an impressive 75-0, ranking him among the top 10 defensive interior linemen in the league. His pass rush grade, which has been a key strength, sits at an elite 85. That's fifth best among all defensive tackles. Lawrence's run defense, while not quite on the same level, still holds up at 54. But his impact isn't just in stopping the run. He's accumulated 10 sacks this season, which is remarkable for a guy playing inside, along with 45 tackles, 20 QB hits, and 50 pressures. His expected points added per rush, EPA rush, is a healthy 10, indicating he's making a real difference on every play he's involved in. Throughout his career, Lawrence has established himself as a premier interior pass rusher, with 30 career sacks and a career PFF grade consistently above 88. Over the past 5 years, he's maintained pass rush grades above 85, comparable to some of the best in the league like Aaron Donald. His ability to generate pressure and disrupt offensive lines is top tier, and he's a proven playmaker with 3 Pro Bowls under his belt. His durability has been solid, missing only 2 games in 2025 due to a shoulder injury, and even then, he managed to rack up 9 sacks in his first 12 games, showing he's a reliable force when healthy. From a strategic standpoint, adding Lawrence to the Steelers' defensive line could boost their sack totals significantly, potentially adding around 8 more sacks per season. His presence would also help reduce the opponent's rushing yardage by a projected 15%, pushing their average from 115 to around 95 yards per game. More pressure on the quarterback translates into more turnovers and less time for opposing offenses to establish rhythm. It would also elevate the pressure rate from the current 30% to approximately 38%, putting more heat on quarterbacks and creating opportunities for turnovers and sacks. Comparing him to players like Wilkins of the Dolphins, who saw a 10% increase in EPA per rush with similar disruptive stats, Lawrence could be a catalyst for the Steelers' defense to take that next step into the league's elite. This move would be a clear statement that the Steelers are not just content with incremental improvements, but are aiming for dominance. The potential impact on their Super Bowl odds is significant, from +1,500 to around +800, according to some betting lines. That's a substantial boost, and it makes sense when you consider how a player of Lawrence's caliber can be a game-changer in big moments. His ability to win one-on-one battles, pressure the quarterback, and help the defense become more consistent makes him an X-factor that could swing the balance against even the most talented offensive lines. The Steelers' front office has been strategic this season, addressing needs and shoring up the roster for a playoff run. Adding Lawrence could be the piece that pushes them from a good team into a serious contender, especially as the defense ranks currently inside the top 10 in points allowed, but has room to grow into a top 3 unit. With EQL injured, the interior line has been vulnerable at times, and Lawrence's presence would allow the Steelers to rotate more effectively, keep players fresh, and deploy multiple schemes to confuse offenses. Looking ahead, this move could also set the stage for a dominant era for the Steelers. Imagine a defensive front featuring T.J. Watt, Alex Highsmith, and Dexter Lawrence. That's a nightmare for any quarterback. The Steelers already have a strong pass rush, but adding a player who can anchor the middle with the kind of disruption Lawrence provides could elevate the entire unit. It's about creating a defense that's relentless, physical, and capable of closing out games in January and February. For Steelers fans, this kind of move signals an aggressive approach, one that's focused on winning now while building a foundation for future success. Of course, it's not just about adding talent. The Steelers' management has shown they're willing to make bold moves when the opportunity presents itself. If this trade materializes, it would be a signal that Pittsburgh is all in on a Super Bowl push, especially with the playoffs looming. With the AFC North fiercely contested and the division's strength increasing, making a splash like this could be the difference between a deep run and an early exit. It's all about seizing opportunities when they come, and right now, the Steelers have a real shot to take a giant leap forward with a move like acquiring Dexter Lawrence. Now, imagine the locker room, the energy, and the confidence that a player of Lawrence's caliber could bring. It's about more than stats. It's about leadership, presence, and setting a tone every Sunday. The Steelers' defense has been solid, but adding a disruptive force like Lawrence could turn them into one of the league's most feared units. And with the playoffs just around the corner, that's exactly the kind of boost they need to make a serious run. So Steelers fans, stay tuned. This kind of deal could happen in the coming weeks, especially as the NFL trade deadline approaches and teams look to solidify their rosters for the stretch run. The potential of Dexter Lawrence donning the black and gold is tantalizing, and it's a move that could define this franchise's trajectory for years to come. As always, the key is to stay passionate, stay informed, and keep believing that the Steelers are always in the hunt for greatness. This city, this team, and this fan base deserve nothing less than a championship-caliber defense that keeps the legacy alive. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick, and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. All in all, this potential trade isn't just about acquiring a star. It's about sending a message that the Pittsburgh Steelers are ready to make a statement, to be aggressive in their pursuit of a Super Bowl. With the AFC North heating up and the playoffs within reach, every move counts. Adding Dexter Lawrence would be a game-changer, a move that could elevate the Steelers into the elite tier of NFL defenses and push them even closer to the ultimate goal, the Super Bowl. And now, Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Steelers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Steelers news. Let's keep the passion alive and continue supporting this team in every way possible. Because in Pittsburgh, we don't just dream of winning, we expect it. This city, this team, and this fan base are built for greatness, and with moves like this, if they happen, we might just be on the cusp of something special. So, keep the faith, stay loud, and let's get ready for what could be one of the most exciting chapters in Steelers history.